Hey there. Now we're going to talk about your new entrant safety audit. That usually comes uh, as a surprise to most new authorities. I know it surprised me the first time, especially. I was pretty nervous, but there's nothing to fear um, unless you're not even trying or you're unwilling to learn. So the new entrant audit is in the same category, but is not officially a safety audit. Some people will refer to them as a safety audit. Safety audits are much different. The FMCSA, a safety audit is after you've had some problems, usually inspections or paperwork that is continually not right, and after you've done some corrective action plans and failed, then they will come and do this full-fledged safety audit. And they don't always do them because of a reason. Sometimes you'll just get one and you just get to do it, kind of like an IRS audit. You get to just do it. But it's different than the safety audit. The new entrant safety audit is usually within your first year of operations. Sometimes it'll depend on how busy they are. It'll push out past a year, but they like to get them done pretty fast, if possible, within 6 months. But sometimes it doesn't. They basically, the CSA program, they basically are using it as a training tool to teach you to make sure that you're doing what you said, meaning all the things that you signed up for. B, they want to educate you on what you do need to do. To pass or fail this audit is pretty lenient. It's not that stringent. However, if you get real combative or you don't communicate, if you irritate the auditor, there's no guarantees on any of it. So they're not out to get you. This isn't a gotcha. This isn't a, they're really trying to use it as a training tool. They're not trying to get you. They do want to find a few things and point them out so that you can do it better and, be in compliance. They just want to make sure that you have safe processes and that you're doing it 85% right. It is a federal program, but the states conduct it. So when you get contacted, it will be a representative from your state. That can be a little bit confusing, but it is a federal program. And the federal level, they set the basic parameters, the basic requirements, but your states have to do the minimum, but have free will to be as detailed as they want to be. So there's a lot of judgment calls that go on. The basic requirements are actually quite low. Post-COVID, most of them today are completely off-site inspections in an upload format. They will just request some documentation, and you will just simply upload it into their program. It's actually quite simple. The biggest piece of advice I could give, So I've been through, gosh, of my own, 4 of them, and I've helped dozens of others get through them. The biggest piece of advice I have for you is to maintain your communication with your auditor. So what's going to happen is you're going to be going along, going trucking, trying to deal with all the other things that you have to deal with. And you're just going to get an email and you may think it's spam. You may get some spam ones, which, when you first turned your authority on, you first got your DOT number, your phone and emails blew up. And I know that. And you weren't sure what was excuse me, what was real, what was fake. And they all come on and sound real official, like you need to do this or that. And you're just not sure. But you are going to get an initial email that says your your new entrant safety audit will be conducted whenever, and it'll usually have the dates on it. Next, and follow that up, you'll get a letter in the mail. So don't ignore these. Start getting it together then. You should have it from day one. You should have all the requirements day one. But if you don't, a lot of folks don't, start getting it together then. And it's usually out there. So in the email and the letter, they'll say, they'll give you 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes a month. If you're on the road and things, just communicate with them and say, hey, I won't be back around, the home office for, another couple weeks. Can I get an extension? And a lot of times they will. They're pretty flexible. The worst thing you can do is try to ignore them. I promise you this is not going away. And if you ignore them or ghost them, this problem, this slight irritation, this slight annoyance of doing the audit is going to turn into a real problem. And you don't want that. Just stay in communication with them. Stay friendly, stay professional. You don't have to suck up. You just stay professional. And not everything will apply to everyone. They'll send you the list of all the requirements. It's not a pop quiz. There is tons of material out there, checklists. I would just get with your state on your state website. They'll have a checklist. They just will. And when they do, they'll call you as well. But just get in contact with them and just rip it off like a Band-Aid. Just start talking and start getting them what they need. Go from there. So we covered all that. Just stay in contact and be professional. These are the largest reasons why people fail their new entrant audit. I'm going to go through lots of stuff here. I'm going to go fast because I know this is like boring, but you need to make sure that you've got some of these things in order. All of these things in order, because these are the reasons you will fail. That you don't have a testing program. You have got to be in a consortium or a consortium, depending on how you pronounce it. Even if you're the only driver, you have to have that. Same thing. You have to have a testing program. Have to. And during this new entrant, a lot of they're very forgiving. You won't get in too much trouble if, let's say, you just learned about this now and you're 6 months deep. You're not going to get a ticket, probably, for not having it since day one. They will see that you learned about it and then took immediate action and got it. So don't be afraid, just dive in. It's another new thing to learn. I talked about how all these things are going to stretch you and push you, and you're going to be uncomfortable a lot. This is what starting this business is. Another reason they fail is they have a driver that won't take the tests. Obviously, if they're using those sort of type of things that you want to stay away from anyways. You don't want a driver who's doing that sort of stuff. And then maintain all your records, your driver records. Even if you're the only employee, you have to treat yourself just like a driver. You need, and this might not be an exhaustive list, I'm just operating off of memory, but you need an application, just like you applied to work there. You need a pre-employment drug screen. You need to be part of a consortium, and you need to have your MVR on file for yourself and for every driver. Another reason that companies fail this audit is their hours of service and their ELD upload isn't in the right format or isn't complete. If they ask for 30 days, give them 30 days. And along with that goes with your fuel reporting. If they ask for it, just give them what they want. Another kind of, it's not really a gotcha, but it's kind of to get your authority for interstate, they require you on your BOC3 to have a $750,000 insurance policy. But if you're an intrastate carrier, they'll still give you your registration and everything, but this is actually one of those little hidden things that you need. So if you're intrastate, make sure your insurance policy is 750,000 or more. And then of course your annual vehicle inspections. Every piece of equipment you have needs to have an annual inspection if it's registered, and they're going to want to see those. Another reason is your out of service violations. They're going to look really close at that. If you've got a lot of them, you're on their radar. That's not good. You want to keep your nose clean. You don't want to run dirty. If your drivers, that could be yourself, are not A, doing the inspections, and B, if they are doing the inspections and you as the company owner are not repairing them, things get hairy. You know, it's funny that this whole thing shifted about 10 years ago. The driver used to be 100%. No, it was a little longer than that. It was a slow shift, but the driver used to be 100% responsible for repairs, maintenance, all of that. As far as the DOT was concerned, it was the driver's fault and problem. It still is if you're out there driving an unsafe vehicle. They still consider it your problem, your fault. You shouldn't be out there driving it. However, they recognized that the driver could tell the company over and over and over and still not have things repaired sometimes. And so they've really focused in on this because of that. The driver's like, hey, I got to make a living for my family. The company won't fix it. You can see all my inspection reports. What do you want me to do? So that's the reason they kind of crack down on that. Annual inspections. The other thing is your CSA score. If it's swinging too far the wrong way, You're on their radar, and they'll shut you down just for safety reasons, just vehicle safety reasons. Now, on your driver violations, trust me, this happens. It shouldn't, but it does. That you've got drivers out there without a valid CDL. You need that in their driver file. You need a copy of your own in your driver file. You need them. That's one way to check. Why would you hire somebody that you didn't check? It's in that same way using a disqualified driver. Your med cards, that's another big spot there. Used to be that you could let your med card expire, no big deal. You just couldn't drive officially. Put it this way, you just couldn't get caught driving a commercial vehicle with an expired med card. So it like just brought you back down to a Class C license is how they considered it until you got it. These days, you have to go to the DMV and you have to have them upload it so that you have it on file. It didn't used to have to be on file, and then things have shifted. Good, bad, or indifferent, they've shifted. But it's a level playing field. The rules are the same for everybody. So it's not unfair. It might be BS and you might disagree, but it's not unfair. It's the same for everybody. So again, if you've got somebody who shouldn't be driving a commercial vehicle, don't have them. And that's what they catch in the audit, and that's why they fail. To me, that should never have happened. Most of these things should never happen. If anything, the paperwork, they understand completely that you've just started this thing, you're crazy busy, but this driver violation section, that should never happen. Make sure that your insurances are high enough for what you need. Especially in the hot shot world, a lot of times they'll just register it not commercial and not for the weight rating. Then they'll just go trucking, they think, and at some point they'll get caught. You have to keep track. You as the business owner, I'm talking about you as the business owner, has to have the hours of service, your logbooks, your downloads from the ELDs in the file, and have to be checked and reported. If there's an error in them, you have to notate that you spoke to the driver. These are the actions we're taking. And if there's a pattern with that same driver, you may have to end up letting them go, even if that's yourself. You have to do these things. Even a roadside inspection, sometimes they will ask for your downloads, and they better be right or pretty close to right, or you're in for it. So what happens if you bomb this thing? What happens if you just messed it up? Like you thought you could get away with some stuff or all of it, and you didn't. It's not the end of the world, and most of the time it's not going to be a business ending. They're not going to shut you down. They may. Most of the time it's because you're not giving them the complete list that they requested. So when they send you the email and the letter, go through it with the fine-tooth comb and give them what they want. I can't stress that enough. You have to. If you do fail, what they'll probably do is just make you do a modified corrective action plan. And it just will probably be, you're missing these things. This you didn't upload this, we need this isn't complete. They'll give you a list, and be sure that you get that to them if you're this far into it. If you really bomb it, if you didn't try at all and you didn't communicate, they'll just make you do a full-blown corrective action plan, and then you're really on the hook for maybe being shut down. They may deem it's necessary to come and conduct on-site inspections of your vehicles and or your office paperwork, all those things. And you don't want to get that far. Just don't. Communicate with them, get them what they need. It's not fun. You're going to miss out on some loads. You're going to have to stay at home. You can do it in a day if you have everything in order. It should only take a few hours, really. 3 or 4 hours. If you've got it all together, no problem. If you don't have anything, it's going to be 2 or 3 days of kind of stressfulness trying to create the new systems. And then even when you upload, you can just be honest and say, I was unaware of this. These are the actions I've taken. This is the program. This is the system I'm going to use moving forward. And a lot of times they'll just say, okay, again, this is not a gotcha. They're not trying to shut your doors. They just want to make sure that you're compliant. And, before, when we were talking about all the jobs that need done and the safety and compliance part, like, it's a real job and it really needs to be done. You can't ignore it. This is, at this recording, the current new entrant audit info link. Copy it, paste it, whatever. Just a quick Google search about the new entrant safety audit, and you'll find it really fast. So there's no homework on this one other than get your stuff in order today, not tomorrow, not after breakfast. Just start making sure that you line up, find a checklist for your state, start getting it in order now. Today, like right now, would be the best time. The old saying is, when's the best time to plant a tree? 30 years ago. The second best time is right now. So just do it and you won't regret it. It's better to be ahead of it than behind it. See you on the next one.